Last week, we kicked off the Dodge Xtreme Bulls Ride Hard Tour in San Antonio. And when the early dust settled, a sellout crowd saw 2005 rookies Canonese and Cooper Cangeezer tied for first place going into the championship round. World champion Mike Moore saw his return from injury get derailed. And Matt Austin, the reigning world champion, suffered a similar fate, failing to make the finals. But leave it up to last year's 7th place finisher in the world rankings, Jared Ford, to kick off the new year, fetching the highest score of the night, a 93 on Fender Bender. And Jared Ford would take home the first championship buckle of the Ride Hard Tour. Can he repeat again tonight? Welcome to San Antonio, the 8th largest city in the United States. A crossroads of history and tradition, mixed with a little old Mexico, Native America, the Deep South, and a dash of the Wild West. Tonight, we're inside the AT&T Center for the second stop of the Dodge Xtreme Bulls Ride Hard Tour. And it's another sellout house, 18,000 here at the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo. They've come to see the best athletes and bulls in the sport. The competitors getting ready backstage. And last week's champion, Jared Ford, is here, but he may not be San Antonio Rodeo's most talked about story this week. By far, it was the 05 Rookie of the Year, Steve Woolsey, aboard White Diamonds in the semifinal. He was knocked unconscious. Earlier, Jennifer Smith got an update.
Well, at the premier Xtreme Bulls event, Steve was taken out of competition until March. Let's talk about this ride on White Diamond. He got you into the fence awfully quick, didn't he?
Yeah, he turned back to the left there and just kind of got me down. I think he got my feet, and then I come down and hit heads. I think I actually hit heads with him twice, and the second time was what really got me, and then he threw me into the chutes too. So
you suffered a severe concussion?
Yeah, they told me that there wasn't any bleeding in my head or anything, but I just need to make sure that my head's right and that I can function.
A very lucky young man. For medical reasons, Steve will remain out of competition for several more weeks. So let's run down the competition format. The top 40 riders from the 2005 World Rankings will compete in the semifinal. 12 advance to the championship final, and the winner will be decided on the highest aggregate score. A bull rider's equipment is pretty simple. Spurs, glove, and a rope are basic necessities. Some riders have chosen to wear a helmet to guard against the head injuries, and most wear a vest that's filled with a high-density padding to protect from horns and hooves. The bulls, on the other hand, are born with most of what they need: a pair of horns, a thick hide, uncommon strength and agility, and an attitude. Great bulls love to buck. A padded strap is wrapped around the bull, the flank strap it's called, and it enhances the bucking ability and entices the bull to kick out and up instead of at the rider's feet. America's first extreme sport is a battle of will and spirit between the bull and the rider. A great bull rider must have courage and mental strength. Most bull riders also wear leather chaps. They add a little class to the ride. Hi and welcome, I'm Paul Page, and speaking of class, with me is Don Gay, 8-time world champion.
Well, Paul, we got bull riders coming at us right now. Tate Stratton, and boy, this is a college cowboy. He had a nice year last year. An Indian blanket, his bucking bull belongs to Mike Survey, round the left into his hand. And we have got the Ride Hard Tour, stop number 2, headed our way. Spinning one way, back around the other. Tate Stratton, I think, is going to be one of the top cowboys in this season, and that is assuming that they can stay healthy.
A little thank you from Tate Stratton, the New Mexico rider, as we look again at his ride.
Coming around to the left, and that's into his office. That's what we like to call it. Stays right up there. Whistle blows about right here, and a good score, Paul.
Gives him an 82.
All right, got to make that top 12, 82. That's usually pretty close to the cut line. Tate Stratton, I like this guy. He just got to get a little more consistency.
Say howdy to Howdy Cloud on J-Lo.
All right, another Mike Survey bucking bull. Howdy Cloud went to his first national finals rodeo a year ago. He's got a good draw right here. Come on, Howdy, it's a mean bull. Round to the right into his hand. He is spurred with the outside foot, staying up on the rope. Nice job right there. That bull's really trying to get him to, look out!
jumps right up.
All right. Oh, Paul, look at him stamp on his rope in about 7 seconds. Watch this move. Coming with the outside. This bull will move way ahead, and then he jumps on him like a duck on a June bug. Look at that. I mean, that bull is horning in on his business, and Shorty Gorham, he takes him in and out of there. What a ride.
Oh, you bet it was. It gives him an 84, and he is the new leader, Howdy Cloud. You know, in San Antonio, the most recognizable landmark is the Alamo. It's a symbol of historic struggle against overwhelming odds. The Alamo was built in 1724 as a home for missionaries. The Mission San Jose and the Mission San Antonio de Valero, as the Alamo was called, are just two in a chain of missions established along the San Antonio River. In the 18th century, Spain built 6 missions, successfully extending its domination northward from Mexico. Collectively, they form the largest concentration of Catholic missions in North America. The Dodge Xtreme Bulls Ride Hard Tour is brought to you by Dodge. Grab life by the horns. By Wrangler, the Western Original. And by the National FFA, developing leaders to go the distance. Well, there's the way they stand right now in the early going. Howdy Cloud is the leader. And while we were away, it was Jason Maddox from Wickenburg, Arizona on bear tracks.
Well, he makes a pretty nice ride. Bull just turns back to the right away from his hand. Has a little trouble staying up on his bull rope, but he gets a 79 score, and that puts him in 3rd place. But boy, that's going to be tight to be in the top 12.
Again, still in the early going. Up next is Cannon Essay, one of last week's stars. And earlier, Jennifer discussed his success.
You scored the highest ride of your pro rodeo career on Casper. Talk about that unbelievable ride.
Yeah, 55 Casper, Sammy Andrews. He's a really good bull. He turned back right there to the right, away from my hand, and then come back to the left, right at the whistle, and it all worked out to where it was good.
Well, you had it going on with Spider-Man. That is a legend in pro bull riding. You almost made the whistle. What happened to get you off at the very end?
Well, he turned back right there to the left into my hand and kind of pulled some dirty moves and got me sucked down in the well about 7 seconds, and that's the way it goes.
Well, you're out for sweet revenge tonight. Tar Baby, a little bit of a challenge, 100% buck off for left-handers, and that's you. What are you going to do to compensate for that?
Well, he's supposed to go to the right, but he can go to the left, so either way, just ride him jump for jump and hope for the best.
Yeah, Cannon, one of the great high school champions, and he has his hands full now as he settles down on Tar Baby.
Well, this bull's really kind of hard to ride. He's bucked off everybody left-handed, but he's just kind of a dirty draw. Hard to ride in and out, coming back around to the right, always trying to move away. But this kid right here, he's the real deal. He's just a young guy and got to get used to winning. He bucked off in the final round last week, but he served up a little bit of notice. He's a kid that we got to keep an eye on because I think he's going to win a bunch if he can stay healthy.
Well, his friends call him Mighty Mouse, and he sure was mighty hanging on this one.
All right, well, his score wasn't real good, but 78 points is probably not going to make it back unless they start bucking these guys off.
But he got out in front of the crowd and got a good round of applause. Clayton Williams is up next, and Clayton will be on Guess Who?
All right, well, Clayton Williams says, guess who? It's me, Terry Williams' son. This guy raises bucking bulls and knows all about it and doesn't have that pretty style, but he is really sticky, hard to get off on the ground, and just a young guy, and he goes, yeah.
Right at the end there, he was rolling off to the right, and I think the 8 seconds was pretty close for him, but he did stay on.
Well, you can see he kind of humps over his rope a little bit and just gets up on his knees and floats the bull, but he gets the whistle, but it cost him some style points every now and then.
But a good pull and a good ride gives him an 84 and ties him for first place. Let's go down to sidelines now and Jennifer Smith.
the best score of the night at 84 points, tied with Howdy Cloud. You heard lots of rumors about this bull before tonight, didn't you? But you never really knew much.
You know, I didn't know a whole lot about him, but I talked to Clayton Fulton. He said it was a good bull. He rode him a couple weeks ago. He said, but you just got to keep fighting him. He gets harder as it goes, and it worked out. I kind of used this strategy, and it worked out for the best.
Well, you're just a young buck at 20 years old. You ready to make your name on this Xtreme Bulls Tour?
That's been my goal my whole life, and I'm ready to get it on.
All right, we'll see you in the finals.
Thank you.
Well, ready to climb on board play spin is Casey Bays, a Texan who says his hero is Don Gay.
Well, you know, probably not if I say something bad about him, but I'm usually bragging on him because this guy can ride, but he's a little bit streaky. Got a second-generation bucking bull spinning into his hand. We can see a lead change right here. This bull is cranking. He's pumping. Yeah, baby.
Whoa!
Look out! Look out! Oh, boy, that hurt him a little bit. That hurt him a little bit. Cody Snyder, world champion back in 1983, goes out and makes the rescue. Look at this bull. Now, I think this is the best ride. Look at this bull dropping, kicking, spinning, but Casey Bays stays right in there. He is having to really throw caution to the wind. I expect a really high score right here. Boy, he needs to work on his get-off. Got a foot right in the chest. Oh, man.
Here's just one more look at it. Now watch as he rolls off and the bull gets right into him.
Oh, my. That was dangerous right there.
That will get your attention. But look at this. The score is 84. We have a three-way tie for the lead.
I always say with the judges, I very seldom agree with them. They missed one on that one. That was a better ride than that.
On Redman, here is Wesley Silcock.
My guy right here, he's the one that I picked. He is riding on, coming around, he's in trouble, and whipped him to the outside. But he's got a little groin pull, and that's going to hurt his bull riding. He's got to get that well. You see, it's let go with his feet and his legs, and he has to knee up. Well, when you knee up, I'm going to tell you, the pain with a torn groin is really, really difficult to deal with, and he just can't handle it. Gets to the outside, and that bull Redman really turned the crank, I think, a lot more than he thought.
Well, as he limps away, 6:48 is not nearly long enough, and so no score. Bringing up Cord McCoy on night moves. He wears a helmet because 2 years ago he was kicked in the head and pretty badly injured.
Very badly injured, but he's gotten over that. Went to the Wrangler National Finals last year. Boy, this is a Friends and Page bucking bull moving ahead. Wow, look out! Smackola! He got whacked right in the head. Blew him plumb out of his helmet. Bullfighters do a great job right there. These are the kind of injuries that you don't like to see, especially with a guy with a prior history of head injury. We can watch a replay here. But see, he never touches him with his spurs. He doesn't have a hold with his legs, so he's all on his arm, and watch what the bull does. Kawabola. I mean, that is just draw him down on his head. Bullfighter doing a great job right there, keeping him from getting stepped on. But you watch that bull slip and then jerked him down and whack. Hit him right, looked like right in the chin, just a direct shot.
You know, you're right. Bullfighters literally pulled the bull away by the horn. So Cord McCoy on the ground, got plenty of good medical help there. They don't want to rush anything, and we'll find out his condition. In the meantime, Mike Moore from Kankakee coming up. They've got Cord McCoy loaded up on the cart. He'll get some excellent medical attention. Ninth round of applause here in San Antonio. Look at these standings. A three-way tie for first place, all three with an 84.
The judges need to make up their mind there, I think.
Got to be one or the other. Here's one of my favorites, Mike Moore from Kankakee, Illinois.
All right, well, he's come close to a world championship, but last week didn't get along too good. Let's see if we can get it going a little bit better. Mike Moore has got a tough bull coming to the left into his hand. Oh, no, down in the well. He just overrode him, and that's happened to him 2 times, and that's because he's wanting to do this so bad. Watch him get this bull coming around. He needs to keep a hold with his right foot, he slides him off his rope, down inside the spin. That's down in the well. That's the way that bull does it, and then that's a great bucking bull.
Oh, and he had a good opportunity for a great score there if only he could have stayed on. Well, you know, B.J. Schumacher is coming up next and making his Xtreme Bulls Ride Hard Tour debut. He was injured last fall, and earlier we asked him, how grave was it?
I guess I pretty much died, you know. It was a bad deal, like, for a while there, and like I didn't have no vital signs or whatever, you know, and they didn't actually have to jump start me, but I came back to or whatever, and I don't know, it was probably the scariest thing that's ever happened to me. I couldn't breathe. I was, you know, like every time I tried to breathe out, blood came out instead of, you know, air. It was one of the scariest things that anybody could experience, I think, you know, just not being able to catch your breath.
Yeah, the bull stepped right on his chest, the worst thing that can happen. But he's back, and he's on Xtreme.
Well, you got to deal with it. Anybody says they're not afraid is lying or he's not very smart, and he's not dealing with it very good right now. Watch him look at the ground right here. This is uncharacteristic. He's rolled into his hand, and so he just takes the jump because he knew that he wasn't going to be able to make the whistle, but a no score for BJ.
Let's get an update on Cord McCoy. Here's Jennifer.
Our Justin Sports Medicine representative Don Andrews has an injury update on Cord. He didn't look good leaving the arena.
Well, Cord was unconscious in the arena, but he's awake now, talking to the sports medicine staff, and we're going to transport him to a local medical facility, take a look at a possible jaw injury.
Great, thank you.
Well, at least nothing sounds particularly life-threatening there. Jake Littlefield, West Point, Mississippi on Mossy Oak breakup.
All right, another Page, Friends, and Buck and Bull. Powder River, Letter Buck, Jake Littlefield. This is a good draw right here. Coming around, jumping and kicking that bull, really kicking out hard. Littlefield staying up on the bull rope. Nice bull ride right here.
Good bull, good ride, and a stand-up get-off. Doesn't get much better.
Everything works out really good right here. This bull wanting to spin right there, but see him kicking out really good, kicking high. The judges like that. Hits in, almost lets another bull out behind him. That would have got a little bit more wild and western than Jake would have liked. All right, nice get off. You have to ride good enough to be able to make your escape and to stay healthy, but a good ride.
Yeah, very nice ride. Score is an 83, one below the three-way tie for first place. So we've got a good fight here.
Well, it's a log jam at the top, but in the top 5, you can see that it takes really good, solid bull rides, you know, to get into the top 12. That's all important because the guy's going to win this thing is going to be high on 2 bulls. So you just got to get there.
Cooper Can-Geezer is up next. Last week, riding last in the semifinal, scored an 89 and tied for the lead.
It came into my hand and just was really getting fast, and I couldn't get him to jump out of it at the end. I kind of got a little dizzy when I was getting off, but I started and I couldn't stop. If I'd have stopped, he'd have probably dealt with me pretty good, but he kept getting faster and sucking back, and I couldn't get him to jump out of it, so I just kept trying to hustle, and hopefully I finally got off decent.
So on hopscotch, here is Cooper Can-Geezer from Zenda, Kansas, a Kansas high school champion.
This bull really hard to ride. This is the one that we saw buck off Matt Austin last week. He's got it going. Coming on, hang in there. You just got to hang on, gut it out. That's right at the whistle. Look out. Donnie Sparks makes a great save right there. But Can-Geezer just guts it out, makes a great ride. This is the one that bucked off Matt Austin last week. Got him strung out. Well, he does the same thing to Cooper right here, except it happens a little further down the line. Good job by Can-Geezer just hanging on. But how about them bullfighters? This bull right here, you see that movement, Paul, how he moves and walks on his front feet? Check out the score. They docked him because of loss of control.
Yeah, 80 points, good enough for 6th place.
80 points may or may not be in that top 12. It'll be close.
It is going to be very close. Here comes Jared Ford. The bull is Final Dose, and that's exactly the same bull that he had last week. And what are the odds of that? Last week it was an 84. Now he's going to need a better score than an 84 if he wants to get into the lead this week.
Well, you saw right there at the end that he kind of messed that bull up, got a little out of shape. But let's see if he can do it again and ride him a little bit better. The bull has about the same kind of trip. Coming around the left, he's in great shape right here. But now he finishes it off. He goes down in the well. He messed up right at the 8-second whistle again. Let's see if that cost him some points. But it actually was technically a better ride. I think maybe the bull might have been a little gassier last week. Let's see, it's a good ride.
Whoa, an 86, and that gives him the lead.
Judges think that is great because his mess up was less than it was. Good call right there. Oh, boy. Really a nice ride, but as you see the position that he keeps his rear end right where he wants it, nice bull ride.
So Jared Ford may be on his way to another big buckle. Let's go down to Jennifer Smith and see what he has to say.
Well, Final Dose and Jared are getting to be great friends. You had this bull drawn in the premier event Longo last week, won the whole event. You're going to make a pattern, aren't you?
Yeah, his same bull, kind of the same tracks. He went a couple farther out this time, but it was a couple points more, so worked out. And that was the third time I'd had him, so I'm kind of getting used to him.
First time you got bucked off. Last week you were 84. This time 86. Just gets better.
Now, one up on him now.
That's right. Now, what about your final round here? How do you feel?
It's a good pen of bulls. Just every one of them's going to buck. I just need to get one rode in the short round and hopefully win another good check.
If he does any better in San Antonio, he may make his zip code in San Antonio, guys.
Well, he's halfway there as the leader currently in the semifinal.
Well, top 5 is really, really solid bull rides.
Well, the 2005 Xtreme Bulls reigning world champion was shut out last week. Will his luck change tonight? Matt Austin is coming up on the Ride Hard Tour. We'll be back. Well, we welcome you back to the Xtreme Bulls Ride Hard Tour at the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo. There's Jared Ford. A week ago, he won the first event of the season, and he leads right now with an 86. Getting ready on Xtreme is Travis Sellers. We want to take you back, though, and take a look at Travis Sellers, who finished 3rd overall in our first stop on the tour.
Watch this bull right here. Rompus is cranking it away from his hand. Travis Sellers really made a good bull ride right there. Scored 90 points and got himself in the thick of things.
We'll see if he can't do that again. Got a pretty good bull here in Xtreme.
This is one that you like to draw. Around to the left, away from his hand. He likes him that direction. Same thing happened last week, and then back into his hand. What a nice bull ride, Travis Sellers. He is riding like a house afire. You betcha.
Oh, that should be able to give him a good score, and he knows it.
Watch this bull up at the top. Coming down, looking at the body position, how he handles his free hand. Coming back around, because what you do is you position yourself up on close to that bull rope, and then you're able to make a good ride like Travis Sellers just did. What a nice job.
Another good look at him, and the score comes up an 87, and the lead changes hands again.
Oh boy, what a good bull ride. He can get down there and talk to Jennifer.
All right, let's send you down to Jennifer and Travis Sellers.
Well, it looks like you're on a roll. You're really riding well right now. Are you coming into these events with a certain mindset?
You know, I don't enter rodeo unless I think I can do well there. And everywhere I go, I just want to keep the positive flow going and just go out there and have fun and see what happens.
Well, that's what makes a winner. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And he's looking pretty good. There's Matt Austin as he gets ready, looking forward to his ride. He did not have a good first event. Zeb Lanham is coming up next. The bull is old number 7.
All right, well, this is a good bull right here, and another left-hand spinner. That's what Zeb Lanham really likes. And when you're on a roll, you just draw bulls that fit you. Look at here, round to the left. Oh, look out! He almost got it in trouble. Ball right on his head, and I don't know if he made the whistle or not.
It's going to be a close call.
Okay, now watch this bull spinning left, but look at his right foot. He's not getting a hold, and he's kind of floating it, and this is going to cost him because that bull feels him way over left. That bull says, okay, buddy, I'll just go back the other way and drive your head to the ground. Oh, yard dart right there. Ow.
He was trying desperately to get that right foot replanted, and he finally did, but it's good ride, 84, and that's good enough for 3rd.
Man, You said right on top of his head. And you know, he could have taken the lead maybe had he ridden with full control.
He was rated 10th in the world last year. Bobby Welch has a high score of 92.
Little young bull to ride right here. This should fit Bobby. He had a rough go last week at the first Xtreme Bulls Tour event, but he's going to ride this one. I mean, no problem. He just rides him to a standstill. Attaboy, the Wyoming bull rider, Bobby Welch. Look how sticky he is. Little bitty guy, but this is a little bull. This is a nice matchup right here. Everything going around. Very good. The bull stopped, which cost him a couple of points, but that was after the whistle blowed, so that's good. You don't want to get off while they're standing still either, Paul. That's a trick.
Yeah, the bull was going to try to suck him in there. On catnip, it's Dustin Elliott. John Day, Oregon.
04 world champion, Dustin Elliott. He had a really rough go last week. It's a tough bull. Look at the horns on this thing, right in his face. Look out.
Very quick ride. Not working for him.
Well, he's got it going okay, going to the right. This bull feels him, just moves out of it, just sells it out, comes the other way, and puts him down. Dustin Elliott, he's fighting his head a little bit.
A crowd favorite, Matt Austin, is coming up next. A little earlier, we got a chance to talk to him and ask how his life changed since winning the World Championship.
It seems like I got a lot more friends, but, you know, to me, you know, it's 2006 now. That year's over with. I'm at ground zero, you know. That was last year. You know, I've got to go do it again or just, you know, just go put out the effort, you know, every time just put out the effort. And that's what I'm going to do. And, you know, I'm sure it's changed, but I'm the same person, you know. I'm still out there fixing fence and feeding cows and doing whatever else I love. So, but it hasn't changed too much.
All right, well, we call him Poindexter, but he's got a good bull, and he wants to make amends for last week. Oh, boy, right in the gate to the right. Almost sucked him down. Bull stumbled.
He's in trouble.
Yes, sir. Looking good now. Round to the left. Okay, that's why he's the champion of the world right there, Paul. Nice bull ride. He didn't let anything get in his way. Got his focus. Moving in. They blanked him here last week, but not this time. That bull, did you see that? Almost fell down twice. Coming back around, really made that bull harder to ride, but Matt Austin's going to get a good score right here. Well, I love watching him ride when he's got his mixture just right. That looked good.
Yeah, it looked to me like he was done at about the 2-second mark, but he put some try into it and stayed right there. 88! Matt Austin is now the leader.
All right, well, you see why he's 88 points, because of the degree of difficulty of the bull, and that is absolutely picture-perfect bull riding. Youngsters, you want to ride bulls? That's the way you ride them, just like Matt Austin just rode that one, 88 points.
Yeah, that's going to be important to him, considering the start that he had in the season, the very first event, no score whatsoever.
All right, well, they put the spotlight on him, and that's where it belongs, but there's more bull riding coming.
Yep, here's Marcus Michaelis.
Showtime.
Showtime.
Oh, I like this little young bull. Come on, Marcus. Oh, young guy jerked the rope out of his hand. Look, Ma, no hands, you know, 3.2 seconds, and, you know, it's a long way back to Idaho from San Antonio.
Well, Hopscotch stumbled with Matt last week at the Premier Bulls event. Got you a little bit, bucked you off early. You weren't going to let that happen this time with Smoky Mountain, weren't you?
No, he's kind of stumbling, but he was just a really great bull of Frontier Rodeo Companies. And, you know, I just bared down and tried, and, you know, thank the good Lord. It feels great to be back in the final round again.
You definitely are on top. Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, the 88 put him as number one. From Utah, here is Jerry Shepard on Faithful Light.
All right, this bull kind of hard to ride. He'll make a round or two one way, jump kick. Pretty stout. Jerry Shepard, he's pretty stout too. He can get things done. Bull cranking it to the right there. Jump out of it, Jerry Shepard into his head. Oh, good recovery right there. There's the buzzer. Bull kind of quit him just a little bit, but he just throws his hat at him and says, yeah. And then he has to run from him. I guess you got to be careful what you ask for.
Yeah, Bull gave him a little variety around to the right and then turned back on him.
Okay, Shepard, he's got those cowhide chaps, and that might just PO some of those bulls a little bit. I don't know, but he gets an 82 score, puts him in 9th position. That's close. We're bringing back that top 12. He wants to get to that final round. He's an excellent bull rider and a veteran.
Yeah, for the finals, it's not just the top that we care about. It's down at the bottom, and sometimes that's an even closer fight. Here's J.W. Harris.
All right, little locomotive. This little bull right here has been really good. Usually spins to the right, jumping and kicking. All right, got to get it going. And now look out, hit the barrel. Oh, JW, he's got a reverse. Oh, he's stuck in neutral and now he's down. Holy moly. We had a little bit of everything right there.
And got his right leg caught under the bull. I wonder if they're going to think about a rewrite on this.
Well, they're going to probably give him a score with an option. You know, remember they're taking the top 12, but the bull was going to get into a good spin right there, which is his MO. But, I mean, everything went by. This bull goes, no. And then, oh, watch his leg. Smash shoulder. I'm talking, you know, that's still about 1,500. Look at his right leg. Oh, right underneath that bull.
He got that leg crooked just as it went down, but that could have been a disaster. And he has decided to accept the rewrite.
All right, well, he's going to re-rouse and get ready, but it's going to be pretty quick.
Yeah, that's probably a pretty good call. Dustin Larson is coming up on Tickle Me Elmo.
By a Frontier Rodeo bull and a good draw right here. This is a young bull. Usually spins to the left. That'll be into his hand. Oh, he hipped himself, and he's going to go to the right. Got him coming. Look out. Oh, good bull right there. Went to the right. Kind of changed the game plan, but Matt Austin, he's talking to Mike Moore. They're doing the re-ride thing.
Yeah, that bull came out looking left and then went around to the right.
Tricked our cowboy, and we come back. Now, J.W. Harris, he's got to collect himself right here.
Yeah, this is Jimbo that he's mounted up on, and this is the rewrite.
Okay, come on. Attaboy, J-Dub, come on. Oh, baby, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, look out. This is a really good bull ride. Look at here, we got him on their feet.
Yeah, that ride probably saved him and put him forward. 88, tied for the lead. What a great call.
All right, Ty's world champion, Matt Austin. That's what J.W. Harris wanted to do. We've seen him ride earlier this season. This is a young guy coming out of nowhere, making a name for himself. 88-point J.W. Harris.
Out of nowhere, on his way to somewhere, and that, of course, will set the stage for the short go, the final round. You're only going to see 11 riders, not 12. Casey Bays is injured and out of that final. Now, let's go down and talk with J.W.
Well, J.W. went from a disappointing 74 and a re-ride to splitting the semifinal round. How hard is it for you to compete back-to-back like that and refocus on a new bull?
I'm used to it. I get on practice bulls all the time back-to-back like that for stuff like this.
Well, it paid off for you tonight. You've got to go get ready for the finals. Good luck.
Thank you.
So we have a great battle as we go to the finals here in San Antonio, as Matt Austin, the reigning world champions, being challenged by J.W. Harris. We'll be back. Well, we welcome you back to San Antonio, the Dodge Xtreme Bulls Ride Hard Tour. I'm Paul Page with Don Gay, and there is the schedule. So if the Xtreme Bulls get in your area, you might want to come by and check out some of the great action. And you can also go to extremebulls.com, and that'll give you some more information. TV westerns were once a fabric of the American landscape, influencing young viewers in many ways. One such college art major took up acting, but years later returned to his first love, capturing life in the American West on canvas.
In 1955, Gunsmoke went on the air. Well, I was a kid then too. I was in high school and watching Gunsmoke, Matt Dillon, Kitty, you know, Doc and all that. 12 years later, I'm on the show. Now you got to realize I was a fan of the show, and all of a sudden here I am in the Long Branch Saloon, and it's like I got to pinch myself. Really honored this year to have a painting, which is a special limited edition for the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo. It's on their cover, and I was really honored to do that, and to me it doesn't get any better than that. What inspires me to paint about cowboys and the history, I live in Young County, Texas, and what went on there in the 1850s, 60s, and 70s is fantastic history. Historic paintings I love to paint. We have to maintain that wonderful spirit of honesty, integrity, loyalty. We have to keep that alive and well.
51 years after its premiere, Gunsmoke lives on TV just as Dr. Newly O'Brien's paintings bring life to the grandeur and the allure of the American frontier. And we're going to bring some excitement to the American frontier of the New West. This is the short go, the championship round. There are the guys and the bulls they will ride. Now, Donnie, who do you think is going to pull this off?
Well, you can't really pick against the field. I mean, that's really not fair, Paul. But, you know, you can't overlook Matt Austin. He's got a good bull. He made a great ride in the long round and is tied for the lead with a youngster named J.W. Harris. But what I thought was strange is Jared Ford has got fender bender again. Now, last week, he scored 93 points on it. It was a great ride, but let's get it on with Bobby Welch.
Bobby Welch on Western Wishes. He has an 82 coming into the final.
Powder River Rodeo, let her buck round to the left. Here we go. Bobby Welch, he got dusted last week. Gonna ride 2 this time. Nice job. Bull was a little bit flat. The spin was a little flat, so it's a nice ride. It'll be a nice score. This bull's got a reputation. He's been around a long time. Dylan Page and Hank Franzen, they're proud of him. He's a veteran bull. Good bull rider. Went to the national finals last year. Bobby Welch and his score coming in.
There it is. He matches the 82 from the semis with another 82 and becomes the leader with a 164. Here's Jerry Shepard on Leroy.
Okay, Leroy, another ranked bull from Powder River on the left. Oh, boy, what a turn. Come on, you got to pump it. Oh, Paul, this is absolutely outstanding. Let's see if the judges know how the points got on their pencils now, because, Bubba, that was a bull ride. Look at the bull rider behind the chute. Oh, look at that bull hop and skip. He about threw him over the front round to the left, coming, pumping. Now watch how he has to push on his bull rope, get his head over the top. Nice bull ride. That's everything you can do to ride a ranked bull. Nice job, 90-something coming in.
Good position, he knows it. He came in with an 82, ups it to a 91, and becomes the leader right now.
Oh, I tell you what, 91 points is not enough on that bull ride. I'll just stick to my guns here.
You and the judges aren't getting along all that well as we watch Tate Stanton.
All right, hot damn is the bull. This is the bull that everybody likes to draw. Tate Stratton is riding like a house of fire. College kid gets it done. But I don't think he's going to take the lead, because that 91 ride by Jerry Shepard was outstanding. This is just another really good bull ride. Look at that bull. Jump kick, a lot of timing. You see Stratton stay up on his bull rope, toes out, great position. This guy's got some style and another good score.
An 89, that takes him to a 171. We've seen 3 good rides right off the start here.
You know, and normally you don't see 3 rides total out of the 12 in a final round, but I tell you, they've come to ride.
On Littleweed, it's Jake Littlefield.
Sammy Andrews Rodeo Company. Jake is that young guy, rode a really good bull, but he was at the first of the show, rounded the ride into his hand. Bull jumps out of it. Nice move right there. Look out. Did you see the clock at the top? That is close.
Real close.
Judges say no score. Coming around 7.65. That's too bad, because this was going to be a really good score.
No score in the final. Let's go down to Jennifer.
This is Leroy is what is jump-starting your winner, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, that first bull really made me try, and I don't know, I just kind of caught a spark, and the Leroy bull, he wasn't really the one to have in the short round. He's kind of hard to ride, but he had a good day with me, and I had a good day, so it worked out, and we had fun.
Well, he'd only been ridden twice ever before tonight. You made it 3 times. What makes him so hard to ride?
He really hops and skips out there, and then he's got that corner that he comes underneath himself, and he's all there. But if you can get set back up, he feels pretty good.
Well, you definitely handled him. It showed your athletic ability. Congratulations. We'll see how the table turns.
You bet.
Yeah, he's looking pretty solid, and he's breathing easy because he's done for the evening with a pretty good score. Here's Zeb Lannon on Honky Cat.
Powder River Rodeo, and we haven't seen this bull. He likes him to the left, and this one's going to the right. Jumps out of it. Uh-oh. Comes back around. This bull didn't have a very good trip. I would see a score. You saw him throw his hat down. That was a little bit in disgust. I would think that maybe we're going to see a score and an option for a re-ride. We'll see what Lanham does. You know, we've just jumped out and ridden all these bulls.
Yeah, he started with an 84. That was only an 82. And he needed a lot more than that to get into this game.
All right, well, that's too bad. He's not going to get an option for a re-ride. That's surprising.
Well, so he'll have to settle with that. There is your current leader, Jerry Shepard. He's got 173 points, but Matt Austin is coming up. And we welcome you back. I'm Paul Page with Don Gay, and we're in San Antonio, the Dodge Xtreme Bulls Ride Hard Tour. And we have a final going on that is spectacular. There's Jerry Shepard with a 173. He is the current leader. While we were away, we had two riders.
Clayton Williams, number one on Super Cool, and David Bailey's just mucks him out of no score. And then Howdy Cloud, another Texan. We thought we had it going with excess energy, and I mean, he can't get around the corner to get it going either. So 2 no scores.
Of course, no score gives you nothing at all, but here is Jared Ford. The bull is Fender Bender. That's the bull that gave him a win a week ago.
You watch right here. We're watching last week's bull ride, and this was outstanding. It was 93 points. That bull tried to horn in on his business, but he was a little late. But you know, that bull, he can't read the stats, and he don't care that Jared's got him drawn again. He's going to buck hard. Here we go. We got to get it going. We got a 91 in the lead. He's around to the right. He's cranking it. He's humping. He's pumping. He's hands out of the ring. Oh, no! Hung up the spur, caught the rope. It's in a loop. Oh, he's getting stepped on right on his arm. Right on his arm. Everybody up and out.
Oh, ripped his shirt off and everything.
All right, well,
the ride was fine. The getting off was a problem.
2 things here. Okay, if you take a loop, I'm looking to see if he's got his right spur in the loop already. He already has it. You know, if the judges saw that, that'll be a disqualification. And when his hand comes out of the rope, was it at 8 seconds? That's probably what they're doing right now, is trying to decide if his hand was in the rope at the whistle, at the horn. They'll deal with that spur issue later, I'm sure, because I couldn't tell. But I know one thing, it's in the rope and it's in there deep and it's dangerous.
Well, Jared Ford, they gave him an 85, so apparently they didn't want to count the spur in the rope. He got stomped in the head, pretty good one.
Upside down puts him 85. Travis Sellers, Musty Oak, Mudslinger, Powder River, maybe one of the best bulls in the bull riding tonight. And he puts his man down. Travis Sellers, no score. That's too bad.
So let's go down again to Jennifer Smith.
Well, this was a scary situation tonight on Fender Bender. Talk us through what happened at the end of this ride. It looked like you got rocked forward a little bit.
The bull was kind of fake to the left and went back to the right, which was, he went left last time. And when he did, I just kind of shuffled around there, and when I did, my foot hung up. It kind of rocked me away from my hand, and it hung in my loop where it comes back around where my tails ran through, and kind of locked my tail in there. So when I went to get off, it was just had my leg draped over his back, and I couldn't get loose. And I just.
You talk about a helpless situation, isn't it?
Yeah, I just was praying that I got out of it safe, and the Lord helped me through it.
Man, well, we're glad you're okay. How are you feeling right now?
I'm all right. My leg's a little sore, but I'm okay.
I'm just guessing that that's a major understatement. Little sore. Jerry Shepard, 173. Got to breathe a little easier with Ford out of the way, but now he's staring at Matt Austin.
Well, yeah, and Matt Austin has got smoking gun, and this is a draw that fits him. He's just got to be 86 or something like that to take the lead. All he's got to do is make the whistle, but he's having a little problem in the chute. Longer you're in there, the more it swings to the bull.
86 is what he needs. Here we go.
Okay, around to the left. He's moving good right there. Got down inside. Look out, the bull stumbled, moved away. What a good bull ride. Okay, nice job. He's going to be more than 86. Oh, look out. That bull's it. Who are you?
Yeah, I gave you a good ride, but I'm going to smack you in the butt.
All right, well, it's going to be over 86. Just depends on how much. Let's see. But look at that bull. He's taking real long. See how he's fading? I mean, we're coming all the way down the arena. And then Matt Austin is in total control right here. Good job right there. He sits down, and he has made up his mind. He's going to make the whistle. And the score coming in.
91. So Matt Austin takes the lead with a 179, a terrific ride.
Good bull ride, but I didn't think it was a 91. Now, that wasn't anywhere near as good as Jerry Shepard's ride. Supposed to win the event, but Matt Austin is showing you why he was last year's world champion.
Matt is back. Here's J.W. Harris on Rocket Man from Frontier Rodeo. He was tied for the lead coming out of the semifinals.
All right, Rocket Man can get him that 92 that he needs, but just kicks him in the butt, puts him down. No chance for J.W. Harris.
So the 2005 world champion Matt Austin wins his first Xtreme Bulls title of 2006 here in San Antonio. Since joining the PRCA in 2002, he's already made quite an impact on the sport. His preparation for achieving success actually began several years earlier in high school.
You know, I got an FFA because I wanted to learn more about cows and, how to doctor them. And I learned whatever type of cow was, because I knew that's what I want to do is raise cows. It was a great learning experience. And not only did I learn about cows, I learned about public speaking and being around others. And, that's helped me in crowds of people. I'm a pretty good talker when it comes to talking to people. It's a fun thing to do. Not only do you learn about agriculture and everything, you kind of learn a business sense of life and what to do and things. And I just think it's a great association to join, and I just encourage all the young people out there, even if you don't want to show cows or raise cows, I think it'd be good to join FFA for life situations.
From FFA to world champion and another win this year. When we come back, we'll talk with him. The Dodge Xtreme Bulls Ride Hard Tour has been brought to you by Dodge, grab life by the horns, by Wrangler, the Western Original, and by the National FFA, developing leaders to go the distance. Want to remind you of our upcoming television schedule. We see you again on the 21st of May with coverage from Clovis, California and Tulsa, Oklahoma. Don't forget those dates. Matt Austin's got $16,000 more.
Well, Jerry Shepard wins second. Cord McCoy got 35 stitches, and he's okay. What a bull riding.
All right, let's meet Matt Austin with Jennifer Smith.
Well, Matt got bucked off in our semifinal round of our Premier Extreme Bulls, and all of a sudden everybody's, well, maybe his knee's hurting, or maybe his media pressure's getting to him, but you always knew better, didn't you?
Oh yeah, you know, if I get bucked off, it's my fault, no one else's. You know, it's something I didn't do right and something I can go to the next one and correct. And you know, I had really 2 great bulls today, and you know, just praise the Lord, He gave me strength to ride them.
Well, how are you handling the media pressure of being a world champion? How has it been for you?
Oh, it's been great, and you know, it doesn't bother me none. You know, I've always expected a lot out of myself every time I ride, and you know, if I get bucked off 1 or 2, I put a little more added pressure on myself to do good because I just want to do good and try hard every time.
Well, congratulations, another Extreme Bulls win.
Oh, it feels great. Thank you very much.
Well, Matt Austin has the win, but what about the Dodge Ride of the Night?
All right, we're going to get the whole ball of wax. Jared Ford, fender bender in the championship round. He makes a great ride, and then it's a pretty good wreck right here. He hung out to dry upside down, foot hung in the rope, but he's up, down, all around, and he's okay. Jared Ford wins another $9,000. Goodbye, new shirt.
Yeah, that combination, 8 seconds of riding and then maybe another 8 of hanging on. The Dodge Ride of the Night. Well, here's one of the nice touches of the Extreme Bulls Tour, a chance to get up close with the champion. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Our next event on the tour at Clovis, California. Join us there if you can. And congratulations to Matt Austin, the winner tonight.